this first question goes to Ben Cook because I can't say Ben or Ben C because two of you are going to go, oh,
Yeah.
okay. So Ben Cook, when's the first time that you got to see the film? Because notoriously, some actors get to see dailies and that kind of a thing, but usually the premiere or the crew screening is when that happens.
Yeah, I mean, my first time was last night. Sorry for the sirens in advance too. I'm in New York City, baby.
Yeah.
My first time was last night, and it's so interesting because of the nature of like independent filmmaking too. Like I feel like we haven't heard, it's been soft. I've heard nothing. I was fully prepared like at a certain point to never see this movie ever. And I was like, all right, well that'll be something, and who knows, maybe one day. So to then finally kind of see it at the beginning of this year. They reached out to us like what, 2 weeks ago to let us know that this was all happening. So I was very excited. Literally last night. Last night was the first time I got to see it. 2.5 years later. Yeah.
I think we feel a lot of pressure, because the cast comes and delivers just like amazing performances, and then we just want to do it justice by giving it something that's gonna like get it out there, and we don't want to give too much information until we have a plan kind of in place, and then this is how things kind of materialize, and it was good to get everyone together to watch it last night.
Yeah, and you just want to do justice to the people who work so hard and to like get their approvals. Like that's the most important to us, I think.
Got it. No, Max and Ben, you have a lot of production credits long term, working as producers. Now, this is a film, and a lot of both of what you worked on, television kind of projects. Ben, in your case, Broadway theater, that kind of a background. So this is a film that definitely breaks up what you all are known for in different ways. So Max, from your perspective, how did this all come together? Who was the first person cast? Was it an easy process in assembling this particular production?
Well, this all came together years and years and years ago. Ben wrote a version of this movie, I think when he was in college. And then we connected in the city probably like 10 years ago to start writing this script, and that took a life of its own, and it was so much fun writing it.
Mhm.
And then when it came to the actual production, I think we knew that everything is going to come down to these characters and who's going to play them. So the first thing we did was we were able to connect with two great casting directors, Taylor Williams, Kate Geller, and were you asked if it was hard. They made it so easy. They were so great at knowing the roles and finding the talent. And yeah, like once we saw the actors in the tapes and saying the lines, it was like such an amazing feeling. Like, oh my gosh, this is going to happen. These guys are great.
Yeah, I'd worked with
Yeah.
Kate on a film that I produced called Jacqueline Argentine that premiered at Sundance in 2016, I think. And I sent her the script for this, and she recommended that we work with Taylor Williams as well on it, because Taylor had mostly worked in the theater world casting plays, and she knew a lot of the up and coming talent in like the New York theater world. And she put like, yeah, these people in front of us. And that was like so rewarding, because these lines that we'd been working on for a while, the script that we'd been like trying to polish, all of a sudden it felt real because people are saying the lines, and then we got a boost of energy to like go out and make the thing. And then next thing we know, we're all up in upstate New York in a crappy like motel, just hanging out together, trying to get as much good stuff on camera as possible. And I think you're watching all of that put together now.
It was an amazing script, by the way, too. Like as someone who like has to kind of just sift through and read like so much stuff, just like massive volume of stuff. Like I don't know, I remember reading this for the first time and feeling so moved. I was laughing my ass off. I was sitting in a like outside at a restaurant kind of close to my neighborhood where I live now, and it was really really cold out, I remember, but I was so in that I was like, I have to stay and finish this and stick it out, because it was such a great read. It was palpable. I feel like you could feel it even from off the page.
Yeah, and the cast is like populated by so many like talented people, like especially Ben, who's on the call with us right now. And last night I just had this thought, like they're gonna go on and do like so many cool things. And I think someday people are gonna be like, wow, they were all in this like movie together, this like small movie when they were like younger. Like, let's go check it out. And then I just like hope the reaction at that point is like the directors didn't fuck it up like that much. Like there's still some like great jokes and some fun times in there. And it will just be this like piece that people find a way to return to. And we'll always remember the experience so fondly as well.
Sure. Well, Ben Cook, follow-up question right here to all that, because having worked so extensively within theater and Broadway and all that, usually Broadway shows, aside from gigs where you say my understudy will handle that, it's a 5 day a week, maybe 6 day a week kind of gig. So when did you film this with relation to working in theater? Was it during a break, or did you take a couple of days off here and there?
Yeah, it was at a time when I was kind of working on a workshop for another show that ended up happening this past summer. But it because of the schedule and because of honestly my personal involvement, I was able to kind of be a little more in and out. And I know given the nature of like the time, because it was 22, spring of 2022, right? So
That's right.
COVID was still kind of a bit involved. So there was like a lot of like schedule.
Mhm.
It was constantly kind of in flux, the schedule. These two had
Yeah.
it honestly really hard. They had to do a lot of like spur of the moment adjusting schedule wise on their end. So yeah, it happened in the spring. How long, what was the total time filming took? I can't even,
It
you
was
said it last night.
it
Our
was
schedule got shortened because we were up against like a hard out with the location that we had where we could like build out the deli. And then there were so many kind of like COVID delays and moving things. And it wouldn't have been possible. Like at some point, like one of our leads had to take like a 10-day break because of COVID. And I was like, what do we have? Like, we're gonna run out of time. We might just have like an expensive short film here. Like, I don't even know what's gonna happen. But we were able to change the schedule around so much, I think, because the cast was so good. So we could be like, actually, we have the people to shoot this kind of scene that we weren't planning on shooting for like a week. Can we just like pull it off? And they would like be like, oh, really? Wow, like we didn't even think we were gonna like do that today. And then they take a deep breath, kind of talk to each other and be like, like we know the script pretty well. I think we can pull it off. And we're like, okay, like let's
yeah.
go for it. Thankfully, like I don't know, the cast was amazing and like we were still able to get like such strong performances.
Yeah, I think in reflection, Ben and I have kept coming back to like how lucky we are to have like this cast and this crew who are so amazing at being able to do the next scene on their feet, like when it wasn't planned. I think every day was different than we planned, just based on all the craziness. But
Well,
yeah.
following up on that, Max, it sounds like behind the scenes for you and Ben, there was a lot of chaos and a lot of uncertainty and a lot of worry, but you kept the crew and cast calm. In other words,
All
I'm
good
not saying you
chaos.
emotionally
All good
manipulated,
chaos. Yeah.
but
I think
I
yeah,
don't think,
sorry.
and I'm curious to hear if Ben noticed that there was any chaotic feelings going on, but it sounds like you kept everyone calm in spite of the circumstances.
Well, it's because these two are so calm. I mean, you can hear it in like their temperament. Like, I feel like even on this call, like, I don't think either of you, at least per my experience, like, it didn't seem to get worked up. No one raised their voice. Like, these two were calm. And I feel like as long as, the captain of your ship, or in this case, captains, like, as long as they keep it kind of even keeled, then you feel like you're in good hands.
Yeah.
I don't think throughout any of that I saw you two. I'm sure it must have been, it must have felt different on the inside, but I didn't notice. I never saw anything from you two. I saw it like around, but the two of them never.
Yeah, no, I think when you go into making a production like this, you plan so much, but it's all going to have to change. Like it's just part of the nature of indie filmmaking. And I think because of our preparation and the work we put in before, and again, because of the cast and because of the crew, I think as crazy as it was always good-spirited crazy. It was always like, okay, let's on to the next one on, let's figure this out. So it was all like yeah, it all super positive the whole time.
Yeah, and I also think when, things would be in flux, then we were actually like doing a scene, then, especially a lot in the scenes that like Ben and Stanley did together. Stanley Simmons, that is, who played kind of his his buddy in the film.
Right.
Like someone would think of like a joke or like a line here that like wasn't in the script that ended up like being really funny. We were just like laughing so hard like in Video Village or whatever, and then just reminded how much like fun it is to make movies. So it was like there were low lows at times when we had to like rethink everything, but then the high highs of just like a new joke or like a new great moment kind of like would totally take us out of that and give us like a boost to keep going.
Right.
That's
So
amazing.
bringing attention back to, this is a new project for us, the general public. For you folks, it was done years ago, whether it was written years ago, filmed years ago, edited, etc. Ben Cook, are we allowed to know what's next, where we can find you, or is it all under Hollywood Reporter embargo because you're just waiting for all that to lift?
Honestly, what's amazing, and it weirdly felt so appropriate that this kind of came around at the time it did for like me personally too, because I've kind of started to work a little more on like independent projects specifically, and have been kind of working more in the independent world, which has been super exciting because, like I said, it's very difficult work because of the money restraints. But I feel like anyone in any interview about independent filmmaking says this. With those restraints comes, I think, the best creativity and the most exciting, because everyone's just trying to like, there's a communal effort to independent filmmaking that I think I really got a taste of seeing with Rockies, that really speaks to me personally. I feel like, with things with bigger, but people are separate. There's a hierarchy, there are opinions, and there still is a hierarchy in independent, but it's just, I don't know, it feels so much more communal. And I've had the privilege of working on a new independent like starting this next month, which I'm really excited about. And it's nothing crazy, but it's kind of where my path has led me. And I hope to continue to kind of work in this field because I don't know, the energy is different surrounding it in a way that I think speaks to how I personally like to work. The pressure is different. You're just trying to like make the best thing you can rather than worry about appeasing uh, any higher up or anything like that. I don't know if that makes sense.
It does. That what you just said, the pressure is different, says a
Yeah,
lot right there, because you're used to one take in front of an audience live, and this is
yeah,
different.
yeah.
So it's well said. And Ben Cohen, again, this film was long in the works for you, as Max had said, the script went back even years before that. Are we allowed to know what's next from you?
I think there'll be some announcements coming out actually, but I've actually I worked in as a producer for a while before this, and I'm still working as a producer. I just had a film come out a couple months ago called Omni Loop, starring Mary Louise Parker and Io Edeberry, and that was like a rewarding process as well, just to like go from work with that director Bernardo Brito, who's a close friend, from like the script phase all the way through distribution. I've really like taught myself that process, and now I'm really focused on more like getting involved in development like really early on things, whether it's like a great novel or seeing a play and finding that like writer and saying like, what you have any ideas for like features, and like building out it from square one. So I have a couple of things on the slate right now that I think will be in the trade shortly, and there'll be an announcement about like a new kind of development fund company that I've been raising money for. And yeah, I'm really excited about what's in the works, and I can't wait to tell some of the people I collaborated with on Rockies about it, so that we can like populate them into those projects as we see fit. And yeah, I don't want to get into too many specifics before like everything's inked, but yeah, I'm very, very excited about what's to come.
You said the magic word, the trades, that term rather. So I know there's real industry jargon going on in a good way. Max, same thing at you. Are we allowed to know what's next, or is it just secrets galore until the trades say it's okay?
No secrets galore, but um, doing similar stuff in development, trying to get some scripts off the ground and going.
Mhm.
Um, always writing new stuff, but nothing to announce just yet. But always trying to create.
Well, the follow-up to that, what's the best way to find out about Max Strand stuff? Is it Instagram? Is it just checking IMDb religiously?
Yeah, religious IMDbing. No, IMDb is probably the best way. Yeah, I'm not the best. I need to be better on the social medias.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I
No,
know.
you don't. It sucks.
And for you, Ben Cook, it's at Ben Tyler Cook. That's the best way to find out the latest and greatest from you.
I think so. I think so.
And Ben Cohen, same question at you. The last word here. Best way for us to find out what we're allowed to know, when we're allowed to know it.
I'm not sure. Like Max said, I'm pretty bad at like marketing myself as an individual, and something we were trying to celebrate with Rockies was setting it at a time when people were on their flip phone and maybe texting wasn't the go-to way of communication. So you actually had to go and meet up with your friends and find out what was going on and try to make your own fun, as opposed to like now it kind of feels like we're sitting around, something gonna happen tonight. I don't know, maybe I'll let you know later. Okay, if you do something, let me know. And then unless something great materializes, you end up at home. So we're trying to go back to the glory days in a way of actually getting out there, seeing each other, and making it happen based on human connection. So we'll see what goes down.
Well, congrats on Rockies being a finished product that we'll all be able to see soon, and looking forward to everybody's near future projects.
Awesome. Thank you so much,
Yay.
and really appreciate you like helping us spread the word.
Paltrocast.